Why do you lack clarity in your purpose? So, if you have a lot of different ideas on what to do and you're feeling like you're spinning around in circles and trying to figure out what do I pick? How do I pick it? How do I even navigate? Where do I even get started? Maybe you don't even have any ideas right now. We're going to talk about a handful of ways why you feel stuck right now and some very practical ways that you can get unstuck and begin to get more clarity on your life purpose. So, for those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Lori. I am a holistic therapist, licensed clinical counselor, and a holistic coach. My specialty is helping people get unstuck fast. So, by addressing the subconscious stuff that is keeping you stuck. So, we're going to talk about some practical ways to get you unstuck today. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this, and I am talking kind of faster than usual because I have a very short time frame to get this video up, but I want to get this out to you because I've had a handful of clients with this specific pain point. Okay, it's like, what do I want to do with my life, no matter what their age? Okay, so this came up with a recent client of mine. I actually have my notes here in front of me from that specific session with that client. So I want to go over these things with you. First things first, what are your values? You have to get clear in your values. What are the things that move your heart? Okay, because if you are operating in any way, shape, or form, particularly as it relates to business, which is basically a service to other people. Why do we get in business? Is to help other people, which then in turn helps you as well. So you need to align with your values. If you're out of alignment with your values, there's a it feels like you're operating out of a dissonance or incongruency with your integrity of who you are, your authenticity. When you can show up authentically and align and show up and provide value to somebody else's life, that is congruent with your values, so much further success for you and for others. Okay, so identify your values. I'm gonna give you some examples. I'll just share a few of mine. One of my top values is creativity. I love creating. I'm also a photographer. I love everything about, creating YouTube videos and content, whether it's creating stuff on Canva, doing the filming, doing the editing, the music, all of that. I love creativity. So that's a really, really big value of mine that I bring in all of my sessions with my clients and even my trainings with other coaches and healers. So I love creativity. The other one that is really important to me is getting out in nature. I've been drawn to nature ever since I was a little girl. I always wanted to be in the woods, surrounded by trees and lakes and mountains, all of that. So nature's a really huge one for me. Health and wellness, that's the biggest thing that I provide to my clients is health and wellness. And actually some of my clients I take out in nature so I can incorporate some of these other additional values as I'm working with my clients to better their lives. Okay. So I want you to write down, what are your top 5 values? And if you're not sure, you're like, what are values? What are my core values? Go do a quick search, core values list. Okay, just do a Google search, core values list, read through that list and start circling the ones that really resonate with you. If you have 10 or so, start prioritizing what is the most important value to you. What is the second most important? The third, fourth, fifth, and so on. Okay. Pick your top 5. Write those down. That's the first step. Write down your core values. Okay. Second thing, jot down, just brain dump, get a sheet of paper, just start jotting these things down. What are the things that interest you? What do you enjoy doing? Do you like the thrill of skiing down the mountain? Do you like snowboarding? Do you like hiking, camping, drawing, singing, music production? What is it that really lights a spark in you? Okay, jot all of those things down that are interesting to you. What are the things that you're interested in? What are the things that you can talk about endlessly all day, every day? So one of my clients, she talked about she loves plants, and every time she talks about plants, she lights up, and she has all this knowledge about plants. And so I said, okay, let's just use that as an example. She has many interests, by the way, but let's just use it as an example. I said, now let's go into a search engine such as YouTube. Let's type in plants. What are the next few things that pop up when we type in plants? One of the top ones under plants is plants for beginners, plants for da 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 da, most common house plants. And so we started brainstorming, like, she could create a whole business just out of educating people about plants and even selling plants. And there's the the opportunities are endless, even just in that realm of plants. Okay. So what are your interests? Number one, what are your core values? Number two, jot down all of your different interests. Number three, you're going to jot down all of your experiences that really were kind of like monumental experiences for you, the good, bad, and the ugly. For me, one of them was having returned from my first trip to Africa, my first of four trips so far to Africa, which is really close to my heart, advocating for vulnerable children. And I was diagnosed with cancer, melanoma. Doctors didn't know what stage it was in. It's a whole other long story. But basically, that set me on the path to understanding experientially the mind, body, spirit connection. That was in my early 20s. Fast forward 20 some years later, here I am. And now I help people be set free in their minds and their spirits and their bodies. That's a huge part of my story. That's a huge part of my calling. That painful experience, that was one of the most fearful experiences that I've had. And it resulted in actually one of the most peaceful experiences in my life. And now I help other people be set free. So that's just one, as I can give you a lot of other examples, but I want you to think about what are those experiences in your life that have been painful. Have you been homeless? Are you homeless right now? Did you lose a loved one? Did you experience trauma in your life? Were you abandoned or betrayed? Did you experience significant financial loss? I mean, the list goes on and all the different things that you may have experienced. Jot those down. Also the good things. Okay. So eventually all of these things are going to piece together. So here's that's the third thing that you're going to jot down, right? So let's go back to recapping. First, your core values. Jotting down your core values, identifying and prioritizing what is your first, second, third, fourth, fifth, top five core values. Second thing is, what are your interests? What are the things that light you up? What are the things that you can talk about nonstop and have a conversation with somebody else, and you just can't stop talking about that thing or things? Okay, jot those things down. Those could be your hobbies, right? It could actually be the line of work that you're already in. Maybe you're already in a line of work and you're trying to figure out, like, how do I continue to grow what I've already grown in my business or in my work with other people. Okay. The third thing, what are your experiences? Jot down the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right. Then what I want you to do is, as you're looking through these things, ask yourself, where are my stuck points? Where am I getting stuck? I can almost guarantee you that your stuck point has an element of doubt in it. What do I mean by an element of doubt in it? What I mean is that where your stuck points are, there's going to be some limiting beliefs or self-sabotaging behaviors. You've probably heard the phrase, if you believe you can, or if you believe you can't, either way you are correct. Okay, let's break that down for a moment. Faith is believing in something, in a desired outcome. You have faith and you believe that your desired outcome can and will occur. Doubt is still a belief, but it is a belief in an undesired outcome that you believe can or will happen, right? I want you to start jotting down, what are the doubts that you have in your mind that is keeping you stuck, that's preventing you from moving to the next level. Okay. Next thing I want you to do is jot down the emotions that come up with those stuck points. So let's say, for example, you're like, well, I've never experienced success before. I came from a home that was really, we moved around a lot. And, I came from a single family home and my mom could never hold a job and we moved around a lot. And now I'm homeless or whatever that is. I want you to jot down, what are the things that, and maybe experiences that you've had that provide evidence for failure. It's important that we identify, what are the things how are we standing in our own way in our mindset? Because it is possible for people who've experienced atrocities in their life to go on to be successful. What is the magic ingredient? There's something internal that happens first before it happens externally. So you have to recognize what are your behaviors or your beliefs that are keeping you stuck. Where are the doubts coming in? Just do set a timer for 5 minutes and ask yourself this question before you set the timer. What are my doubts? And just free form, just let the thoughts come in, observe them, jot them down as fast as you can. And then when you read those back to you after those 5 minutes are up, read those back to you, and then notice what are the emotions that come up. Is it frustration? Is it fear? Is it anxiety? Is it worry? Is it sadness? Is it betrayal? Is it vulnerable? Is it insecurity? Is it low self esteem? Jot those down. Okay. Then I want you to download my number one stress tool. It's called the Pulse Point Stress Tool. It's going to explain in there how to put it all together and how to neutralize those emotions. Those are the roadblocks standing in the way of your success. So you can begin to dismantle the beliefs that are keeping you stuck. Okay, that's a really good starting point. If you have any questions or comments, leave it below. I have to go now because I have a client, but I wanted to get this out because I think this is something so critical for people. Just get started in this direction. Core values, okay? Top core value. What are your core values? What are your interests? The things that you can't stop talking about over and over again. What are your experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly? Where is your stuck point? What are the limiting beliefs or experiences that are keeping you stuck? Then the emotions. What are the emotions, the difficult emotions that come up as a result? And then use a pulse point stress tool to get rid of those emotions, to neutralize those emotions, to get yourself unstuck. All right. I hope this is helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.